So what I'm going to do first of all is just talk a little bit about what happens in the body when we're stressed. So our brains are incredibly, they're so incredible that they're designed to keep us safe. And within our brain, we have something known as the amygdala. And the amygdala is, and I'm sure you've probably heard of the fight or flight response or your stress response. The amygdala is designed to keep you safe and to keep you out of danger. And that was really, it evolved within us in order to protect us at times when we really did need protecting. So whenever we first evolved and we had to hunt in order to find food and to survive, and we had to flee from wild animals in order to live, we had to flee from tigers, that the amygdala was there to activate our fight or flight response in order to flee from danger. So when the amygdala within the brain gets activated, what happens is we get a rush of cortisol, we get a rush of adrenaline within our body, we get a surge of glucose within the body. Our muscles tense in order to flee and in order to run away from danger. And all of this biological response happens immediately within the body in order to keep you safe. So your body is doing what it's intended to do. And that's really fantastic when you are actually in danger and you do need to escape from a predator or someone that's chasing after you. The problem is with the amygdala that it can't tell the difference between when you are actually in danger or when you are just perceiving danger. Your body responds and your body reacts in exactly the same way. So what I want you to think about is over the last few days, when you've maybe been at home and you're naturally spending a wee bit more time on social media and scrolling through your news feed, what I want you to think about is what kind of emotions are you feeling whenever you're scrolling through your news feed. So, for example, when you saw the images, which everybody has seen, when you saw the images of shelves being empty in supermarkets and that there was no bog roll anywhere, what thoughts started to go through your mind? What did you start to feel? When you saw that heartbreaking image of the little old lady who was standing at the shelf and there was nothing on the shelf that she couldn't get, what did you feel? When you saw videos of places in Spain and Benidorm of tannoy announcements declaring an emergency state and the streets were completely empty, what did you feel? So in the little comments below, I want you to, if you can, just share with me when you were going through those images. Can you remember what did you start to think and what did you start to feel? Maybe you started to get some thoughts of, so Pauline, you've said there, yeah, absolutely, disgust. What other thoughts and feelings did you start to feel when you were looking through all of these images? Perhaps you started to have some thoughts go through your mind like, oh my God, this is the end of the world. It's like the apocalypse. Maybe when you started to notice, because I have to say this did go through my mind, when you started to see all the pictures of empty shelves and nothing could be available, did you start to fear for yourself and your own survival? Did you feel the urge to run out and try and find loo rolls, an antiseptic and Dettol? So the point that I'm trying to make is that when we're exposing ourselves to all of this social media content, what it's actually doing is generating fear. And it's perfect word, despair. It's generating fear, it's generating despair. And what happens is that then causes a ripple effect. And we share these posts, and then the people who we share it to, they then feel those emotions as well, and then they share it, and that causes a further ripple effect. And what we find is that our social media feed now is just completely congested with fear and scaremongering and anxiety. And whilst it's right that we are concerned, and of course we should be concerned, and of course we have to follow the recommendations that are there with regards to our health and safety, when the messages that we're receiving all day are fear-based, of course that's going to have an impact in our body. So the reason why I wanted to do this little stream today is to get you just to tune in to the thoughts that are going through your head with regards to all of this uncertainty at the minute, and how that is impacting how you feel within your body. Because what you think in your mind directly impacts what you feel in your body. So I want you just to notice that when you, for example, you see an image of, say, the shelves being empty, that's your trigger. Noticing that picture is a trigger for you. The thought that goes through your mind might be something like, this is the end of the world. The emotion that you might feel then in your body is stress, anxiety, panic. And how might you feel that in your body? You might feel your muscles are tense. You might feel shortness of breath. You might feel butterflies in your tummy. So the thought that went through your mind created an emotion, which then was felt physically within your body. So what I want you guys to do is share with me, what is it you feel? So I know that you've commented anger, despair, disgust, and sadness. What I want you to share with me is, when you feel anxiety and when you feel stress and fear, how does it actually present itself to you in your body? What is it that you feel? For me, my stress all goes to my shoulders. And when I'm really stressed, my shoulders are like this. Another place that I'll feel it will be in my tummy. So like I had butterflies just before I came on to do this Facebook Live. So for you guys, tune in to when you feel stress, where do you feel it within your body? And just in the comments section, let me know. Nobody feeling stress? Is it only me? Oh, thank you, Alison. So you get to hunch shoulders too, and you get a really tight tummy. Yeah, that's me. That's where I feel it as well. Anybody else? Where do you feel your stress and your anxiety? A really common one would be the shoulders. It's a really common area to hold our tension. Tension in the neck and shoulders. Shivery, yeah, that's another one. That's just your the adrenaline just pumping through your body. Hell in your whole body tenses, yeah, and that sickness feeling. Yeah. Okay. So the good news is that we can do something about that. So before we go into the tapping, something I suppose just to think about and to consider is that because the thoughts that go through our mind directly cause the emotions that we feel and the physical sensations that we feel, what we can actually control is we can have some control over our thoughts, and we can have control over our behaviours. So if you are someone who struggles with stress and anxiety, what I would say to you is to consider taking a break, consider taking a siesta from social media, or muting pages that you feel are just generating more anxiety for you. And just notice also the language that you're using in your mind. Is it catastrophic? Are you jumping to conclusions? Are you always assuming that the worst thing is going to happen? And just to notice, what's the language, what's the phrases, what's the terminology, how are you speaking to yourself within your own mind? The other thing you can do is tapping, and that's what we're going to get to now. So what I would say with tapping, if you have never done it before, you're probably going to go, this is a bit weird. And that's perfectly okay, because when I first heard about it, I thought it was the strangest thing ever. And even when I spent 4 days training on it, even when I left the training course, I still went, yeah, that's a bit weird. And then I suppose I thought, I've nothing to lose, I've done the training, so I'll give it a go. And I started using it with clients. I trained in it specifically to help clients with food cravings and emotional eating. And I was really amazed by just the immediate effect it actually had with clients. And for stress reduction, for anxiety, it has an almost immediate effect as well. We know that just a few minutes of tapping can reduce cortisol levels in the body by about 25%, so it's really, really significant. It reduces cortisol much more effectively and quicker than just using breathing techniques alone. And tapping is now used as the first line of treatment in symptoms of trauma, and is used really effectively with post-traumatic stress disorder and anxiety symptoms. So I now use it all the time, and it's my go-to whenever I'm feeling really stressed, really anxious and overwhelmed, and would use it primarily when I'm flying, because I'm not a great flyer, and I would also use it before public speaking and before doing stuff like this. Alright, so what I would say is the acupressure points that I'm going to take you through, some of them are on the face. So I have washed my hands, so I am going to be tapping on my face. If your hands are clean and you're happy tapping on your face, that's great. If you're not comfortable tapping on your face, you can just tap on the other parts of the body that you're comfortable tapping on, and I'm going to talk you through each stage. When we are doing the tapping, the only way tapping will not work is if your mind is away somewhere else. So if your mind is on what you're going to have for your lunch, or what the next announcement that Boris is going to release, if your mind is somewhere else, it's not going to work for you. So all I would ask you to do is try to keep an open mind, and try to really connect in with your thoughts and with your feelings about this situation that we're all in together and the anxiety that it is creating for you. Okay, so I'm going to take you through the tapping points now. The first tapping point is just on the side of the hand here. It's known as the karate chop point, and all you need to do is just take 2 fingers and just gently start tapping. And what I want you to do is I want you to really tune into what is your anxiety level right now about the uncertainty that we're in. You may have loads of anxiety about your employment. You might have loads of anxiety about loved ones. You might have loads of anxiety about how you're going to survive if the kids are going to be homeschooled. And I want you to think about how much, on a scale of say 1 to 10, what would your anxiety level be? If you can, put in the comments below. On a scale of 1 to 10, what would your anxiety level be? How much do you feel it? How much do you feel it in the tension? How much do you feel it in your shoulders? How much do you feel it in your body? And just make a note, a mental note of what that number is, or you can put it in the comments below. And then I'm going to take you through the series of tapping points, beginning on our face and just at the beginning of the eyebrow. And what you're going to do is you're just going to repeat all the things that I say. And when I'm saying these statements, just try and connect in with them and try and feel them as much as possible. Okay? So just follow along with me. So even though I have this anxiety, I accept how I feel. Even though I'm overwhelmed with all this uncertainty, I accept how I feel. Even though these are such uncertain times and I'm full of anxiety, I accept how I feel. So now we're going to move to the tapping points on the face. If you don't want to touch your face, tap on your face, you can just keep tapping on this point. Just follow along with me, saying the statements out loud. All of this anxiety, you're just tapping gently on these points. All this worry, and just under the eye, so much uncertainty. Under the nose, I feel so tense in my body. in the chin, tense in my shoulders, butterflies in my tummy, and the next one's a weird one. It's under your arm where your bra line would be. So much tension in my body. My head is just spinning with negative thoughts. So much worry for the future. So much worry for my friends and my family. I feel like I've hardly stopped for a breath with all this worry. And I need to breathe. I need to let go of all this tension and all this anxiety that I'm holding in my body. And when you just tap here on the collarbone, what I want you to do is just tune into your breath and take a nice breath in through your nose for the count of 4 and release. And one more time, in through your nose for the count of 4 and release. And when we continue tapping, I just want you to notice your breath, and every so often do a nice deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. And when you let that breath, that exhale out of your mouth, I want you to allow yourself to release tension and to feel relaxed. Okay, so we're just going to do one more round of tapping and then we'll check in with how you're doing. So I know that this tension is my body's way of trying to keep me safe. But it's not helping me now. So I need to let it go. I choose to let go of all of this tension, all of this anxiety, all of this worry. I choose to breathe. I choose to relax. Letting go of all this tension in my body. Letting go of all this uncertainty. I choose to have control over how I think and how I feel. And I choose to let this tension go. Okay, well done everybody. I hope you were tapping along with me and I wasn't just tapping on my own. So just stop for a little second and just take a nice breath in through your nose and release through your mouth. Okay. So what I want you to do is, for those of you who had marked that your anxiety levels, that your stress levels were high and up around an 8, can you check in with me now and see how would you rate your anxiety levels in your body now? How would you rate your stress levels? Did anything shift for you there when you were doing the tapping? Did you notice that anything changed? So if you can, just check in with how you're feeling right now and leave a little comment in the comment section below. hopefully just by doing. The great thing with the tapping is, oh, you feel a lot calmer now, Alison. Brilliant, fantastic. The great thing with the tapping is that at times when you do feel really stressed and you do feel really overwhelmed, the tapping behavior itself is, in a way, it's a distraction because it's taking your attention away from other things and just making you focus more just on your body. You feel more clarity. That's great, Pauline. That's brilliant. So it's a good distraction technique in that you're coming to actually physically touch your body. But also you should feel that when you're actually tapping on these points, that whilst you are tapping, you should feel just a real sensation of calmness taking over your body. That's great, Helen. You feel a lot less tense as well. It is so relaxing. Like before I came on here, my stress and my anxiety levels were through the roof because I don't like naturally doing this kind of stuff. But as I'm tapping, I can literally feel my body just completely go into a relaxed state. For yourself, this tapping is a tool that you can use yourself when you do feel stressed, when you feel anxious, when you feel overwhelmed. There is no perfect way to do tapping, and this is what's brilliant about it. It doesn't matter if you skip points or you miss points or you forget about points. It really doesn't matter as long as you just pick it up and continue on as you're tapping. And when you're tapping, what we do is we start off with tapping on the emotions, the negative emotions, the negative thoughts, all of the negative stuff that you're feeling. You're stating that and you're tapping on it first of all. And when you feel like your anxiety levels have reduced and come down, your final round of tapping, what you're tapping on is how you then want to feel. So you'll be tapping on, I now feel calm, I feel relaxed, I'm letting go of all this worry. I choose to be positive, I choose to be optimistic. So you're really tapping on what you want the positive outcome to be for yourself. Now, what you might be asking is, right, that's great, I feel less stressed, but how the hell am I going to walk around the place tapping on all these points? So two little techniques you can use is if you are out somewhere in work or something and there's people around, you can just tap on that karate chop point. And you can have your hands under the desk, or just subtly you can be tapping on that karate chop point and just focusing on your breath. And that will be really effective in itself. And the other thing you can do is that we have acupressure points on our fingertips, okay? So you can even just be doing that. People will just think that you're fidgeting or that you're hyper, but what that's actually doing is you're tapping on all your acupressure points on the top of your fingertips, and that's just helping you to stay calm and stay relaxed, and again just focusing on your breath. So there are two little techniques that you can use yourself. Really quick, really effective. So I hope that you really enjoyed that and that you got some benefit from it. And if you keep a little eye on my Facebook page later on, next week I am launching a 14-day event that it's completely free, and basically I've pulled together everybody that I really love and admire in the wellness industry, and everybody's going to be contributing some daily content that is absolutely free to access. So there's going to be an at-home yoga workout, there's going to be an at-home Pilates workout, a bodyweight workout, a workout for all the family to get involved in. I'm going to be doing some tapping, we're going to have nutrition, there's going to be loads of things that are all included in it, all completely free of charge. So I'm going to post it on my Facebook page later on, so if you're interested in that, just share it with everybody that you know, and we'll try and get as many people signed up as possible, and it'll give us all something nice and positive to focus on while we're all in isolation. Alright, does anybody have any final questions or comments that you want to ask? So brilliant, I'm really glad that you found it calming and that you found it really relaxing. If you've any final questions, just give me a shout. I saw your comment, Pauline, about YouTube. It's on my mind to do one. I've just got to figure out how to actually do it. Okay, fab idea. Oh, thank you, Alison. Thank you so much. Well, I'm going to have plenty of free time on my hands now to generate all this stuff, so I might as well make the most of it. All right, listen guys, thank you so much for tuning in and for tapping along with me. I'll try and figure out some way of making it public and sharing it, and again then you can share with anybody that you think would find it helpful. All right, so take care and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.